Hola, amigo. Do I sound cute enough? Ooh. As usual.
What's up, guys?
Yo. Yo, what's up? It's critical. We're gonna play it today. Alright, I'm ready. I am ready. Yep.
They can already hear us on the stream.
Can they?
Yeah.
Stream is on? The stream. Okay. Oh. Oh, I did not know that. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. And that's actually fun to see the behind the scenes of people. Yeah. Let me just. Yeah. Go.
Yes.
All right.
Do we have background noise from me? Okay.
There you go. All right, cool. Now I'm actually coming through. Sweet. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I think I'm okay now.
All right. Here we go. We're gonna start.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of The Dream Show, a podcast where we talk about this game that we love and love to hate. Let's introduce ourselves as your host. My name is nothingxs, and I'm joined by...
Wise Dream Team. Hello.
And QuazarFC.
How's it going, everybody? I know that we have a lot of stuff for all of us to talk about today, so let's get to it. First off, I wanted to talk about what I would like to call the France disaster, the Paris pernicious problems. I'm just making shit up as I go along. The Paris Dream Championship. What happened?
A disappointment. That's what happened.
Wow, already you're just out here with the haterade. What's going on? So, you guys watched it. I was busy. Tell me about it.
All right. So what we were expecting was the monsters of France. Everyone was hyping up France. Everyone said that Dubai wasn't great, and the real show will happen in France, more than Hong Kong, more than Japan. But I honestly did not see anything of that hype. What do you think, Weiss? Don't you agree?
I actually agree. I agree 100%. Except for the Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is yet to be happening.
Exactly. And should we talk about the matches themselves? Nothing?
Yeah. I didn't watch, so the only way that I can experience right now the level of play of the Paris Dream Championship is vicariously through you, because I
Okay.
watched exactly 0% of it. So if you don't tell me what happened, I don't know.
Okay, so in the semifinal, we had one match that was kind of interesting. The winner was Lithan. I forgot his opponent, but it was pretty much a shot fest. There were barely any passes. If a player was open, they passed to him. There was no push it back to the defense, move around your players a little bit, and try to do something. And he just miraculously won. And then the second match was against Bad Jojo and Biji. Now, for that match, the one interesting thing was the amount of debuffs he had ready for his opponent. Weiss, you want to take over?
Exactly. Now this is what was interesting about the whole tournament was Beijing's team. Beijing didn't play actually very well, but his team was absolutely debuffers. I mean, he could get goals from left and right easily without any worry at all. And that was the only point that actually was fun in the game. However, Lithan was basically an RNG guy. I didn't see much of play. I only saw RNG with whatever he gets. Whenever he gets a goal, it's just a gold crit or just a rainbow crit, pretty much. Otherwise, the play was pretty normal.
So what you guys are
Uh,
meaning to tell me is that you witnessed what we like to call an RNG fest.
Exactly. The thing is, and here's the thing is, at the last second of the probably the second extra time between Beijing and Elitan was the finals. It was um, a middle shot, all right, a bit of an angle in it, and it was a Roveshada. Okay, it was a North Roveshada, and it got a goal against a Rainbow Crit Mueller. Now
Yeah, but
that's
that,
a full RNG right there.
well, not exactly, because the Rofeshata was around what? At least 19K, probably 21K, I would say. And Muller had absolutely no buffs. His opponent, Lithan, was playing Japanese mix, and he was probably at 13, maybe 14K catch.
But the thing
So
is, Mueller already caught Roveshata a few times, and he caught other shots, and this is an angle shot, and it was from the middle section, as well as it was a rainbow crit. So come on, man, it's a rainbow crit.
it falls it falls under my personal theory that rainbow criticals, gold criticals, all have a like, how do you say? I forgot. So never mind. I'll skip on that.
Similar strength, similar.
Not
crit?
similar strength. Like there's a super
No.
super rainbow critical and then a weak rainbow critical.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
I believe in that. I truly do.
No, I don't think so. Lithan played better than BG.
Oh
BG
yeah, that too.
did a lot on his debuffer team, which didn't do that much as he wanted to. So yeah. Also, there's a thing about when it was Bujajo versus Beijing, where the connection got lost at the second half. That was interesting.
So I heard
Yeah,
about
but that
that.
was
What happened exactly? Does anyone have any insight as to the connection? Did the commentators explain what was going on?
they said he lost his connection, but they showed us the screen and the screen went black. So
Exactly.
Either the phone died or the phone itself crashed. The game seemed like it was okay. The computer or the phone just went blah. But there's one thing I want to mention that Weiss was saying. The finals between BG and Lithan. Lithan gave up almost 15 minutes into the first half. You could see him throwing his phone on the thing and just complaining to himself, and he was very flustered. But had he been focused on the match fully, I think he would have been able to beat BG. He lost hope so quickly because he shot maybe 3 times with Dreamfest Tsubasa against Samurai Ken, the new one, 2019 Ken, and he just kept stopping them once after the other, and it was unbelievable. Yeah, Ken 97, and he lost hope way too quickly. He had other players that could score, but he did not try to get into the penalty area for some reason.
That's because Lithan's play wasn't a strategical play. He just went, "Yep, I'm gonna give it to Tsubasa, and let's hope that's a goal." And that doesn't work with this game, unless you're Mamitas. That's a different story.
Yeah, unless you're Mamitas and you're just gonna let it rip from midfield over and over again because that's just how you live your dreams, then that's the only way that works, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
honestly, I'm now ready to cheer really hard for the Dubai champion Will of D. I think he could destroy the French player, the French BG.
I mean, listen, let's
the Japanese player, that one was pretty good.
Let's be real. What's actually gonna happen is that I'm gonna make it into all night qualifiers and I'm gonna win the whole thing because I'm the best. I was born the best. I was raised the best. Like, all I know is how to be the best. And actually, no one's gonna. Listen, that's not actually gonna happen. I want to believe. I want to see what happens with Hong Kong, because Hong Kong does have the Hong Kong region will have a lot of players. Wouldn't be surprised if for Hong Kong they actually picked some of the killers. Like if we wound up with like Silfarian, 30-minute Miracle, and a bunch of the people just visiting for the Hong Kong one, and we ended up with like a wildly stacked tournament. So I actually want to see what happens there.
Do you know if they announced the Hong Kong qualifiers yet?
They're announced, but like we know the date, but we don't know. I think we know the date, but we don't know who's gonna play in it. So
because we do have Silfarian asked me a few days ago how long it took to get accepted into Dubai, and he still didn't get anything. So he may have not even qualified, which is very unfortunate.
I mean, it's kind of lame, right? Because they're definitely probably the best players in the Asian region, and I think that K-Lab has shown for the last two events that they're not particularly good at selecting. I think that the Dubai qualifier didn't really have a whole lot of top tier players. It had like maybe 2 or 3. I think that the Paris qualifier, like Aaron signed up. How do you not pick Aaron?
True.
I know,
Very
right?
true.
The thing is, does anyone know how do they select the players? Is there any insight?
In Dubai, they said it was random.
You can't just
The
pick
fact
random.
the fact that there were 2 Kuwaitis that made it, I don't think it's really random, because 600 people applied. I think personally they took a couple from each region that applied.
This is scale up. Nothing is random. They hand select everything. I know that for sure. It's never random with them. They
Well,
always have
the
an
random
agenda
might be
behind it.
from, like, let's say 50 people from Kuwait applied, and so they take 2 from the Kuwait region. I highly doubt they checked each player's deck to see if they're ready for the tournament or had any idea. And I know for sure that K-Lab did not know that I was a streamer, for example, and say, hey, let's get this guy in there, because they gave me absolutely nothing while I was there.
The way I know
They
that
probably know.
the way I know that's pretty random is because I signed up for Paris and I didn't get pinged. Because if it had been fully random, I mean, yeah, the way I know it's random is that they didn't pick me. Because if it had not been fully random, that's a pretty big name to suddenly be like, yeah, I signed up for this. And I'm not trying to like throw around like my name has that much weight, but that's basically the only tournament I would have been able to show up to, and they didn't pick me, right? So,
I agree. I totally agree. That would have been a big boost for their name. Having you there, you'd have your own fans that are ready to cheer for you. It'd have been louder. It would have had more people, I would guess, more people that would show up just to see nothingxs in person, take a picture with him, etc.
I don't know about all that, but at the very least,
Well, hey, I'll say it for myself. I would have had a couple of people want to take a picture with me if I had been there.
well,
That's for sure.
what I think would have actually happened was that the French community would have had someone to boo against, which is fine. That's always good. They would have had someone that they didn't have to cheer for, right? Like, this is obviously a guy who came in trying to take the French tournament for free. Let's show him that we're not that free, and it would have been like a cool rallying thing. And
That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah, but they didn't do that. I think all the players were actually from the regions, and so it wasn't that interesting. I don't know if all the players were French. I couldn't tell you if there were any German players or anything like that. It seemed to me that all the players were French, so I don't know.
They did. They were French because they look French, so they speak fluent French. So I'm guessing if you live in France,
They look French, huh? Racist.
From the ones that qualify.
Yep, they do look French. Yes.
The ones that did qualify. Come on, wait. Bad Jojo looked French.
Yeah.
Asian. Bad Jojo was full on Asian.
Someone like someone must have not been French, right? Like there must have been like
we
one
only
or
got
two.
to see
Bad
what?
Jojo.
We got to see 8 players.
All right.
4 players, the semifinal and the final. So we really don't know.
That's another thing, right? Like, so if you're gonna have all 16 people, why is it that only the Japanese tournament had all of the matches streamed, but so far the Dubai and the French teams streams only had like top 4 or something like that? Like, that's not cool.
I can't say. I don't know. Like, even though the French one was actually much more or prepared much more than the Dubai one, they should have had more information, more video content for the event, but no.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it that way, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, so I think we've covered the Paris Dream Championship, I think everyone has more or less said their piece about what they feel about it. Does anyone have some final thoughts about the Dream Championship and how it's going so far? Let's start with Weiss.
Yes, please don't do what happened in Paris again, please. Select much more fun, better players. I really hope they do have a way of selecting, and they actually share it with us instead of just keeping it hiding. And let's hope no disconnections happens in the next tournaments.
How about
well,
you?
that actually did happen in Dubai as well. The qualifier matches, there was at least two disconnect. One that they were able to salvage, and one that had the match reset completely.
Oh.
So, yeah, and they're playing on iPhones. iPhones have a tendency to crash more than any other phone in the world.
Nice.
I wouldn't know. I'm just not a fan of iPhone.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get to watch the tournament, but from so far, what I've seen is that the event held in Japan versus the events held elsewhere aren't the same production quality, and I understand, obviously, because K-Lab is centered in Japan, so it's easier for them to throw a better event. But it can't be that hard to contract people in the area to help you throw a better event. I insist that if they had thrown an event for Latin America here in Miami, we would have made it poppin'. We would have been able to have the stream production the whole way and make it quite good. So K-Lab, if you're listening, and I am led to believe that you are, you should come, come to Miami sometime, and we'll talk, and we'll try to throw something.
Next Dream Championship season.
Yeah, for real.
I really don't know why they didn't have a Dream Championship in the USA.
Or anywhere in Latin America. Yeah, listen, no one's quite sure.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's it for the Paris Dream Championship. Let's talk about something else that has people up in with their panties in a bunch, and that is the last anniversary banners. We've now seen the anniversary banners come and go. We now know that the anniversary is technically over, and we only saw Japan. Our great, if you didn't have a Nippon team, that's it. You didn't get anything. Unless you had South American team, in which case you just looked at the banners in a state of confusion, because they didn't like you very much. Unless you want to run Victorino or freaking Hino, and then you were not that mad. Or unless you just needed the super solidarities, because if you were actually looking for players to change the state of your team, you didn't find any of them unless it was Red Salinas, and even then you're looking at him like, oh man. So how do you guys feel about the anniversary banners now that we're done with them? So Weiss, I know that you actually went in a little bit on the anniversary banners, right?
Sadly, I did. I did.
So tell me how you feel about the anniversary banners. And I know I put the surveys much after this, but we're going to cover the surveys right after this because it is topical, because the surveys are about the anniversary banners. So tell me how you felt about the anniversary banners.
I'll talk about a few points. The first point is that the prizes that they gave us, the events, these actually were good. I like the prizes that they gave out. It's actually a much more improvement than other anniversaries, especially last year's. So this means that K-Lab is actually developing itself with how they give us prizes and how they can thank us in these anniversaries, and that's a plus for them. Now here's the thing. Putting one team that is extremely strong. Now, this is where K-Lab kind of went whoop, because they brought us an extremely strong Japanese team with the 9-7 banner. Like every single character was like stronger than the other one, except for Soda. Nobody loves Soda.
Actually, the Soda is good. It's the Jito, I think that's the problem.
I like Jito more than Soda. So we can talk about that later.
No. This is the feelings about the anniversary banners, and
yes.
the Soda is very broken, by the way.
The only thing broken about him is that he can generate you easily full powers.
The thing that's broken about him is that he's good at 4 things that are all over 10k in base stat, with support of like 9k of their physical stat, and he has S skills for everything. And also he had a farmable A tackle. And also he generates full power. And also he's fast as hell. And also he has a high amount of stamina. And also.
Still,
G02 definitely lost in that banner.
Uh,
He starts on
G2
my
was,
team, by the way.
By the way, G2 is basically there for your 15 solidarity.
Yeah,
pretty much.
G2 is literally there to help launch the twins into the sky, and hopefully he never has to play because he has asthma.
Pretty much, pretty much. So, other than that, the banners were way too strong. That's comparing with the next banner, which is the Brazilian and the Uruguayan banners. These were just a letdown, and this is where Caleb went whoop whoop. We don't know what we're doing. We're just gonna give you Japanese, because we know we're good.
I actually will defend the Uruguay banner because both of the players in the Uruguay banner are actually very usable. And they also have super solidarity. Like the green Victorino is actually really crazy, and the red Hino is not as crazy, but he's pretty strong. I think that if you're trying to run a red South American team and only a red South American team, then you actually did come ahead in the South American banners. But if you were not trying to run red South America, like the vast majority of people, because that wasn't even a thing that people were thinking about, then yeah, you had no reason to kick. But I mean, if you had like 18 Natureza, Dream Collection Rivaul, who else? There's a bunch of them. If you had the old Red Hino and you were looking for a better one, if you had Alberto, Dream Collection, no, Dreamfest Diaz, all sorts of other characters, then yeah, you actually wanted to pull on the red one, especially because it would let you play Blue Pascal because of the South American solidarity, and that would make that team really wild, right? Like, Red South American, not exactly bad as a result of those banners, but everything was so weak that it didn't feel like it mattered, right? Like, I think Uruguay was like the saving grace. If Uruguay hadn't come out, every South American player would have been 1,000,000,000% pissed, and instead they're only 1,000,000% pissed, which I guess is like it's splitting hairs at that point.
Okay, I agree with you. However, it's still the amount of difference between a Uruguayan banner, which is only 2 players, okay, and that's very limited. With the Japanese, it's just way overwhelmingly the difference. And now comes the next part, which is the Brazilian banner. Now, if you want to run 45% solidarity, you need one of the Uruguayans. And you need to continue it with the Brazilians ones. The Brazilian one was really bad.
Yeah, everyone in that banner was kind of whack, except Salinas again.
Exactly. And the thing is, when you have those really limited solidarity, and now comes in the European banners, which has solidarity, and they are gacha, normal gachas. Now this is unfair. This is unfair for South America. At all.
Like
really
very,
unfair.
yeah.
Exactly, especially because the Japanese banner, they give you 2 chances of getting them. Either the 6 steps, which are guaranteed one of them, and next is the 5% banner, which has with 3 pulls and 1 free. So they can go ahead, have some Japanese banners. Go ahead, have some Japanese players. And what pissed me off so much is that we spent so much on the 6-step banners and going with 3%, thinking that it's not gonna come again. And like the next week, the next few days actually, comes in with a 5% banner, 3 and 1 free, and you can get all the players you want. And that's what pissed me off so much about the anniversary. Otherwise, everything was actually pretty great. I love the themes. I love the changing of the musics, the prizes they gave us. It was fun. It was actually really fun.
So I just have to say that first of all, you guys forgot one guy, Ishizaki. 97 Ishizaki is insane. I played yesterday against a guy for a friendly, and he stopped my dribble with his block. He stopped my A50 1-2 with his block. He, of course, stopped my shot with his block. He is insanely broken. I really have nothing to say about him except that. But it really was weird for me that when it came into the Uruguay banner, there was no blue player. I know that there aren't many Uruguayan players, but South American blue is pretty strong and needs a DM, needs something to help us. And why not bring in Alberto? At least bring in DC Alberto during that event.
Probably because there was already there was already a blue Hino and a blue Victorino, so they didn't need to release blue Uruguayans at that point. I think that's probably what the logic was there.
Okay, I think that's all I have to say. Other than that, the Super Dreamfest was very interesting and surprising. It took a lot out of me to get that Diaz. But I'm still working on figuring out whether he was truly worth it or not. His S4 shot does score against A30 Ken. Was it A30? A25 Ken. Easily and insanely. But I'm looking forward to seeing how capable he is in the future on Mike.
All right. So, speaking then of what you guys thought of the anniversary versus what people actually thought about the anniversary, or other people, we had a French player, and I want to properly credit him, so I'm actually going on Twitter really fast to get his name. His name is, well, his Twitter is Winch Hunters, and he made a form, survey, reviewing the anniversary, and I have the results. I can sort of read them for you.
Okay.
And so I have the Spanish and the English ones. They're a little bit different, actually, in some of their results. So I'll go over each of them one by one. I'll cover the English one and what they thought, and then the Spanish one and what they thought. So in English, how do you feel about the length of the anniversary event? How do you guys feel about the length of the anniversary event? We'll start with Weiss and then Quasar.
I think the event should be 2 months. It shouldn't be 1 month, and I think it's kind of still going on with the new French banner.
So do you think it's too short? Do you think it's too short, just right, or too long?
I think it's too short. We spent a lot of money on it, so it's too short.
Fair. What about you, Quasar?
I liked it. Come on, two black balls a week. So that was nice.
So but what about the duration, the length?
Anniversaries last a day for us normal human beings. 1 month was awesome. I'm not gonna complain.
So you're just right. So English speakers, 635 English speakers, about 51% thought it was too short. Only 44% thought it was just right. There was people who thought it was too long, which is kind of amazing. Now, Spanish speakers, the vast majority, 58% thought it was the right length. And 37 thought it was too short. Again, only a few people thought it was too long. So, what did you like most about this anniversary event? Now, the actual poll questions that we offered were the Japan South America Cup, the farmable UR characters, the training camp for SSR balls, having access to the old A skills, or the Dream Championship, or none of the above. And then everything else, there was like a bunch of custom answers where a bunch of people just raged. There was a bunch of rage in it. We have some rage right here. Let's see some of these rage. We have, let's read one of these rage comments. One of them, the event was underwhelming and very PvP focused. Another one was, nothing. I got my South American defensive midfielder, but it's still useless. What's some other ones? We got login bonuses and play a little. I don't know what that means. Let's see. It was just for a special player base, so I had no fun at all at the anniversary and was very disappointed. Like, very, very switched to Dragon Ball Legends after 2 years of playing Tsubasa. That guy's mad. And then there was...
I need a translator for that.
Yeah, and there's another one. There was not a single good event, space, exclamation mark. So, what did you guys think between the Japan South America Cup, the UR characters that are farmable, the training camp, the old A skill access, and the Dream Championship? Of these 5, which do you think? Which did you like the most?
Just before we go to that topic, I just want to respond to the last comment for the survey.
No. Oh.
No, not in chat. The survey.
Oh.
This guy must hate SSR Black Balls. He must really hate every time he plays the online Tsubasa Cup and get SSR Black Balls, because I got some. How many did we get total? Something like maybe 30 Black Balls this month?
I made my jumping Raiju I made my descending Raiju S30, and I made my jumping Raiju something like S12 already.
There you go.
So yeah, I've got big guns.
That's something to complain about.
Anyway, so Weiss, Japan South America Cup, farmable characters, training camp, access to 8 skills, or dream championship? What did you like the most?
I liked having the old characters coming up for the 2017 one, the farmable ones.
Farmables.
However, one more comment. I don't think that the South American Cup was part of the anniversary. It's actually part of the Copa America Cup.
Well, it happened during the anniversary event, so it's kind of like part of the anniversary technically because it happened during the anniversary, and it also generated Roberto.
But we have now the European Cup, so there we go.
Well, yeah, I
think the Copa America gave them the idea of making other type of cups, and it just happened to be Copa America in June with the anniversary.
Yeah, I'm not saying necessarily that that's incorrect. I'm saying that because it happened during the anniversary, it's technically part of the anniversary.
Yeah, I guess.
So, what do you think? You think that all the access to A skills? What about you, Quasar?
Honestly, I liked all of them.
Okay, but you got to pick one.
My favorite is SSR Black Ball, so I have to say the training camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both in English and in Spanish, the overwhelming victor was the access to all day skills. 55% and 57% respectively, English and Spanish. However, the second place is different in each of them. In English, 19% thought the SSR Black Ball training camp was good, but in Spanish, people preferred the Japan South America Cup, which I wasn't expecting, at 14% for the Spanish speakers. Now, after that, it's like 9% farmable characters, 7% Japan South America Cup in English, and then the Dream Championship, people were like shrug. And in Spanish, it was 12% RWR characters and 6% training camp. So that's interesting that the Spanish players cared a lot less about the training camp. I wasn't expecting that, actually, because the training camp is such an easy way to get SR Black Balls for all your players that I figured a lot of people would just be like, hell yeah, I love it. But I guess not. For me, it's always the A farmable skills. That was by far the best. Also having access to the old 2018, which wasn't part of the questions, which I noticed, but having access to the old 2018 players was excellent. If you didn't get the green Jito, you're super happy now, right? Because you got to get like one of the best blockers in the game by a lot.
I'm a little surprised why they didn't have any SR Black Balls in the training camp.
I noticed that. I would have loved that because I farmed way too many of the training camp medals, and I would have liked to have been able to use all the extra ones.
Exactly.
Anyways, so on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate the events available during the anniversary? In Spanish, most people voted 4, and in English, it's like an even distribution between 3 and 4, with a little more leaning lower. So I feel like English speakers felt like it was a 3.2 or 3.3. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I would give it a 4. I liked it.
So you liked the events that were available. You were a fan.
Yeah, it was something new we've never seen. Having C ability UR players that are actually playable in certain events. That was interesting. I saw a few people play them during the South American Japanese Cup, and they did some work.
Yeah, especially the Sano that debuffs blue players. That one was pretty annoying. How about you, Weiss?
I would give it a 4 as well. I loved it. To be honest.
I thought that I gave it a 3 if only because I didn't think that outside of the RWRs, I don't think any of the events were actually interesting. I don't think I had to make any interesting choices. The last anniversary events, because of the way that, for example, in 2017, that you had to farm up the Matsuyama and stuff like that, I felt like it kept me a little more engaged, and I got a cool reward at the end for it. I think that something like these RWR players was similar, but I don't think the RWR players are as playable in the long run outside of events, save for some exceptions, like maybe the Tsubasa and the Sano. So for me, I don't know. So I went with like a 3. More people in Spanish agree with you guys than people in English do. The Spanish players are like a 3.8. And the English players are leaning towards a 3.2, 3.3. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, regardless of your luck during pools, how would you rate the gifts that you obtained during the anniversary? I'm talking tickets, stream balls, and black balls. and I feel like most people thought this was pretty positive. Weiss, how did you like the gifts?
Oh, I love that they gave us more chances to get the 97 without spending any dream balls. I got Takeshi from it, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Wow, that's cool. That's great. I'm glad that
Oh, yeah.
you got Takeshi. You in particular. I'm glad. Yeah, I wish I knew what that was like. Anyways, so you like the tickets, the dream balls, all the black balls and stuff. I mean, I know Quasar was basically grabbing his nipples to all the black balls because Quasar loves black balls. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, Quasar was excited. Quasar was having a good time.
All the way, all the way.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, what I'm saying is that even if you don't spend any dream balls, you still have a chance to get them. Even though it's a 30% chance, it's still a chance.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Obviously, I thought my biggest complaint was that the mixer came back instead of something better. I hate the mixer. I made a video detailing exactly how bad the mixer was by showing you how bad the mixer was. I never got anything from the mixer except later on where I got a dupe, which was pretty hilarious. I got a dupe Aoi because that's what I needed from the mixer. Just because I got like 8 Mexicans in a row, and I was like, I'm throwing these away. Like, I don't actually need them right now, so I threw them away, and it generated Aoi, and I just looked at my phone, and I looked at the invisible camera that follows my life around, and I went, what the hell? And then there was a sitcom laugh somewhere in the background, and that was pretty much how bad that was. The mixer, even when it gave me something new, only existed to taunt me. Probably because I talk so much trash about the mixer, to be honest. So, yeah, I think that they all voted from 1 to 10. They gave it an 8. I think both of them gave it roughly an 8. More like 7.5, but Spanish gave it an 8. So I think that that's fair, right? I think that the gifts were actually quite generous. I don't think that there was anything wrong with the ticket, stream balls, and black balls. I think that the amount they gave was pretty good. I think the amount of dream balls they gave was pretty good. I think the amount of the little collection medals was good so that you could get the free players also from 2018. I think that they were actually quite generous in that regard. So I don't have any complaints about the gifts, actually.
I agree. I don't have any, to be honest. It was actually overwhelming because other than the daily dream balls that you get, you also get like a 25 and a 22, like 3 times. So that's actually pretty generous for them.
Yeah.
Of course, that's comparing from the old anniversaries. So they're actually learning and giving us more and more each year.
Yeah. So without caring about characters' nationality, what did you think of how good the characters, like the quality of the characters released during the anniversary? And I expected this to be a little more polarizing, but apparently not. What did you guys think of the quality of characters? Quasar, you first. What do you think of the quality of the characters?
I would say the quality was pretty good. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. The art was pretty cool. I love Ken's punch that he does. That came from the 97 story, and wonderful. I really can't say a lot about it other than they were great. Like playing against these new players was tough, and I would say more than tough, excruciating. And good on you if you were able to get all of them.
So yeah, so I mean,
especially one more thing. It's been spoken about before, but Solidarity was genius, just complete genius.
Oh, we'll get there. We're talking about just the quality of the characters right now. So
the quality.
You guys like the new skills. You like the art. You like the animations. Everything in that regard was pretty good.
Yes. They actually outdid themselves, to be honest. You have over 12 characters, each with 1 to 2 unique skills, unique animations, different dialogues. Even I think there's actually new dialogues they put in without even us noticing between players. If you have 997 Hyuga, he talks a bit differently than the best Hyuga, like probably one dialogue with one player. Forgot who though, which is pretty good. Also, they seem to have putting a lot of details in the animations that they put recently. Also, all the animations are directly from the manga, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I think everyone else kind of also agreed. The average review in English was somewhere in the 8s, and the average review in Spanish was actually like in the 8.5. So I think people really like the quality. Now, regardless of the character's nationality, what do you guys think of the team skills released during the anniversary? And I think that we can all agree that Super Solidarity is an excellent idea, right? Like, I don't think we even have to discuss that one too much. Cause,
No need to.
Yeah, because most people voted 10.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yes.
Totally.
Super Solidarity is a good idea for trying to add players to the meta simply by virtue of making them runnable. Although, if you think about it, what ended up actually happening in practice was that every Japanese player started running Roberto because they had to. He's like, if anyone's ever played Yu-Gi-Oh, he's like old Yu-Gi-Oh where if you had Raigeki, you had to run it. Like, that's just what you had to do because that magic was too strong. If you had Pot of Greed, you had to run it. So he's a staple, basically, for every Japanese team. If you don't have him, you're significantly worse off for it. And so everyone with green or red or blue Super Solidarity is running Roberto as a splash, which means that they only have space for like 2 other players that they want, right? For example, my friend Danny, his account actually uses Super Solidarity to carry the blue Hino rather than buffs because the blue Hino is quite good. Instead of running, say, I don't know, a Wyron or Gentile, that's what he did. I think he benches Gentile instead of a Wyron because a Wyron gives you more buff total for Hyuga. And so he'd rather have Hino as a completely extra usable character. So yeah, I think Super Solidarity allows for more interesting team builds, and we're going to see that a lot, especially once Europe Super Solidarity comes. Simply because Europe Super Solidarity doesn't have to run Roberto because they don't gain anything out of him. And so I think European Super Solidarity is going to actually be the more creative application. Especially because that means that, for example, like Red Super Solidarity will be able to run like Green Brian and Blue Gentile, right? Or something like that. So that you can get like an extra 2% each to all of your red European players. Actually 4% total. Which would be actually kind of funny, right? Like you're actually using Super Solidarity to splash some buffs. I expect that to be pretty common. So I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah, I totally agree. 100% with everything that you said. Also, thing is, having a European green blue is kind of hard nowadays. Nobody actually goes for those. However, now we're gonna see them coming back again to the meta finally, instead of just seeing red Euro all over the place. So it's gonna be interesting to see finally blue and green Euro running around, especially with Cults being in the middle. I would love to see Cults collection doing some crazy shit out there.
Well, I think that if you play a green Super Solidarity Europe, right, at once you're able to, you have access to stuff like Dream Collection Cults, while also being able to play blue World Cup Mueller, like 18 Mueller. And I think that even if you don't have your green goalkeeper yet, that's pretty scary. Because the color that beats you in green would be red, and you're specifically running the goalkeeper that counters red, right? Which is the World Cup Mueller, which is like wild. So yeah, there is that. So, you know, I think it's pretty straightforward to say Super Solidarity, easy to like, easy to love. So besides that, how about the diversity of the banners?
The diversity of the banners. I don't know. So far it's I'm not much of I mean, there's no point in having diversity in the banners if you're gonna have like one super banner and the rest are just okay banners. It really won't matter if you have diversity in you know, Europeans, South Americans, doesn't matter. We just want to have a really close strength. We don't want extremely strong players and then comes really average players, and that's sadly what happened at first. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. I guess that's my answer.
How about Quasar?
I agree with Weiss. I really can't say much.
Well, everyone agreed in that what they thought about the diversity is that for the English players, they voted something like 1.8. And 0 was an option, and they mostly overwhelmingly voted 0, but there's so much votes in 1, 2, 3, and 4 that it actually leans towards like 1, 1.2. And in Spanish, it was closer to 1.8 because 1 was the overwhelming majority of votes. And so people did not like the diversity of the banners. Now, The next thing is more personal stuff, like what kind of main team do you have? Did you pull during the anniversary? We all know that majority of people pull during the anniversary. Something like 95% exactly on both things. Most people, and these are all stats for you, most people pulled on all three of the World Youth 97 banners and Dreamfest Tsubasa, I think to no one's surprise. Now, Spanish speakers were more likely to pull on the 3+1 banner, while the English speakers seem to not care as much about it. And surprisingly, Dreamfest Diaz got less play on both English and Spanish. And then even people who pulled Europe pulled for the Japanese players. You guys may be interested in knowing that most people seem to spend about anywhere between 600 to 1,000 Dream Balls. Especially if you were a Spanish speaker. Most people relied on the anniversary to strengthen their main team, and most people actually managed to improve their main team, but not as many people managed to make any secondary teams out of it. Now, what would you rate your satisfactions with the anniversary from 1 to 10?
I would say the 3+1 felt like a bait. The majority kept saying that it's more of a bait than a gift. And I have to sort of agree. That free one didn't really generate any extra SSR SSR players. It took me personally about 1,000 Dream Balls to get Diaz. And then right after it, I was like, why not? Let's try one more on the Tsubasa banner, and poof, 3 SSRs. The first one was Basa, the next one was Green Diaz, the crappy one, and then yet another Hyuga. So I'm a bit confused by K-Lab giving me 3 SSRs and then giving me something that isn't even featured, but they were okay. I still have to demand or ask that the percentage goes up during Dreamfest, during these big events, especially when they're just so hyped and everyone is going in really hard. Lowering percentages or making it the same just doesn't feel right.
So how would you rate then after that your satisfaction from 1 to 10 if you were going to put a number on it? How satisfied are you? Satisfaction with the anniversary, yours personal.
I would say a person should spend no more than 500 Dream Balls per event. So I'm gonna say I'm not satisfied. I would give it a 6.
How about you, Weiss? How did you feel?
I'd give it a 6.5 because the diversity was bad. They absolutely give no shit about the Brazilian players, or South American in general. The second thing that really pissed me off is the 3-and-1 banner for the Japanese. It was actually a bait saying, "Oh yeah, we just took your money on all the 3% that you spent on, and now, oh yeah, here you go, 5%. You can get all the players you want." That was a really bad bait.
I think they do that every time though, and the reason why is because that way you'll only step up in the earlier banners knowing that the 3+1 is coming, and that way you can still try. If you're gonna like spam, you should spam at the banner with everyone in it as opposed to at the other banners which are 3%. So the idea is that you spend your 270 Dream Balls trying to get what you actually want, and if it doesn't come out, you have a last chance corral. I think that's the idea. For me, I don't mind the system because they did that 2 anniversaries in a row now, so or like 2 major samurai events in a row now, so I don't really mind these right here.
The idea is fine. I mean, I like the idea of having a second chance of getting them. But the thing is, you've already taken a lot of Dream Balls on the 3% banners. So I'll be much more happier if they did not introduce the 3-and-1 free. That'll be much more fair for those who actually spent without knowing that it's gonna be that way. Also, they did do that in the last year and the last year before, but I actually don't remember them. I wasn't actually invested in the game that much, so I was baited. So I'm gonna learn that the next time. Yep, don't pull more than the 270 Dream Balls.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I don't disagree with that. I think that if you didn't know, then yeah, it kind of got you. For me, the satisfaction with the anniversary is around the 6.5 also. Most people seem to agree. There's somewhere between the 6 to the 7. In Spanish, it's more between 7 and 8. Which is a little surprising to me, but there are also a significant amount of 5s. and so that is curious. However, how would you rate the actual anniversary itself? The anniversary itself, there's a bit of a disparity between how Spanish speakers feel and English speakers feel. So, giving me only a rating, we're not going to talk too much about it, between 1 and 10, how would you rate the anniversary total, Weiss?
6.5.
The actual anniversary, so the whole anniversary experience, you think is a 6.5?
Yep.
Quasar. Not your satisfaction, the anniversary. Okay, 9.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
9.
so I actually think it's about a 7. English speakers agree that it's about 7. It's actually a bell curve nicely on the 7 as the majority. But Spanish speakers actually overwhelmingly think it was an 8. So Spanish speakers really much happier with the anniversary than most players. And in fact, looking at the last question, which was after the anniversary ended, how do you feel about continuing to play? In English speakers, 44% said they've decided to slow down. But in Spanish, only 24% of players decided to slow down. In fact, the overwhelming majority of Spanish players, 62%, decided that they'll keep playing at least as much as before, which is pretty nice. You know, I mean, the Spanish players obviously still quite invested into the game. However, in English speakers, only 40% of the players are actually going to continue as before. 11% think about taking a break, and 4% of people decided to quit. In Spanish, only like 2 whole people who responded decided that they're going to quit out of about 100 entries, which is basically 2% also. So that's interesting, right? Like, I'm surprised that there's such a big disparity between the Spanish-speaking players that are part of communities versus the English-speaking. I think the majority of English speakers are slowing down, while Spanish players seem to still be like going full speed ahead. I don't know how you guys feel about that kind of disparity. Like, why would you think that more of the English speakers, I guess, decided that they're more done? And I actually have a theory toward this, but I want to hear what your thoughts on it are.
Okay, so my thought is that because I think that the English speakers spend more money on the game, so they have more chances of getting the super solidarity. And once you get the full super solidarity, that's it. You are set. You already have the different extremely good players that you already invested in, so it's a chance to put them in your team. So basically, once you get the 3 super solidarity, that's it. You pretty much got 45% on every single player you have in the game. So pretty much you're kind of at the end right now, unless they bring up 50% increase, 50 or 55 buffs. So I think this is the reason. Those who keep on playing did not get the 45% solidarity. Those who did slow down pretty much got them. So that's my theory behind it.
All right. Well, that's pretty much like the coverage of the survey. So I was actually kind of interested to see how disparate the 2 answers were, right? Like, I haven't really even looked too much at the French one. I do have access to the French one as well. And it was kind of odd seeing all of the different, like, answers. Actually, hold on, I do have access to the French one. Interesting. Oh, no, but I can't load it. Can I load the French one? Yes, I can load the French one. I'll give you like a quick responses about the French one. Most French people thought it was too short. French people actually are not as overwhelmingly about the A skills coming back. They are almost equal between the A skills and the training camp. They really did not like the anniversary events, the anniversary things. They, instead of leaning 3.5, they leaned more towards 2. However, most people really liked the gifts. Most people were okay with the player quality. They loved Super Solidarity. They thought there was no diversity. There was a good... they pulled almost exactly the same as in English. Most World Youth 97 and the 3+1 and Dreamfest Subasa. And they rated their satisfaction at about a 7. But they thought that the actual anniversary was somewhere like a 5.6 to 6. And but even though that they thought that anniversary was whatever, most of them decided that they're gonna keep playing the same amount. So France likes getting, France likes being mad about things, but then still doing it. That's something that we just learned today. If you speak French, you get really mad about stuff, but you keep doing it. So shout outs to France.
Shout out to France.
Shout
Shout out, France.
Anyways, now we're gonna go back to a little segment that I like to call "Is It Whack?" And last time we did "Is It Whack?" Weiss wackly responded to "Is It Whack?" because he didn't know what the meaning of the word "whack" was. But now he's ready. So now that he's ready, we're gonna talk about "Is It Whack?" And this time it's not just gonna be teams. I'm just gonna give you a brief topic, and you have exactly 1 minute to answer about this topic. Okay? And then we're gonna start with Quasar, because last time you weren't here. So in fact, I'm gonna start both of the "Is It Whacks" with you. So you have 1 minute to tell me, is it whack? Paris Dream Championship. Go.
Whack completely. I cannot believe the wackiness that they had there. The players were pretty much average or even below average. It's a shame that they didn't do the Dubai Championship in Paris. I would have completely wrecked every single one of them. One, because I played in Dubai, I know what I'm doing. And then the best goal you've ever seen in the Dream Cup so far came from none other than QuazarFC.
Mamitas.
With those perfect white...
Mamitas.
Yes, okay. Mamitas had a nice goal. But perfect white passing is the way to go. I wouldn't say,
She had two.
I'll admit, it wasn't completely perfect white passing, but they were beautiful passes, calculated against my opponent, moving my players with my...
All praise Mamitas.
Sure. With my formations, and yeah, I would have won.
So you would have won.
Completely whack.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so that's exactly 1 minute. And now for the next thing that I'm going to bounce off of you. Green Europe. You have 1 minute and go.
Oh, come on, Green Europe, please. We need to complete them. I have 30% Green Europe or 40% Green Europe. My Schneider is waiting for one more player. That is Green Chester. Green Europe can do so much, especially with that box Muller that everyone has forgotten about. He gets 10, 15, I think, or 10, 20, 30, 40%, or even 45%. No, 40% maximum capacity. We got him during one of the time attack events, and everyone completely forgot about this guy. This guy is awesome, especially if you have the players, and I do have the players ready for a full European green team. I would love to see him completely destroy green or blue World Dreamfest Ken.
But is it whack?
It's whack that they're not ready yet.
All right, thank you very much. And now for the final thing that I did not write in the actual part here. Here is the last, is it whack? The European Cup. Go.
The European Cup. I've honestly won almost every single one of my matches. I don't know how. My European team is not completely ready. I don't want to spend any of my SSR black balls on it, but for you guys with all those red European teams complaining and crying about how it's unfair, 12 SSR black balls for number 1, and then it goes to 10, and you get Misaki for free. Come on. If you're going to complain to me about how I have a South American team and I'm forced to play with just about anything that I hate, and that is a European mixed team that I would have loved to have and complete. But my European mixed team is 750k, no skills, no 1-2s. That's a shame.
But is it whack?
It's not whack.
It's not whack. Okay, thank you very much. Quasar. Weiss, we come to you now because we want to know if you think it's whack or not. We will start not with what you think it is, but not even what you thought I was going to ask you in the first place, because I'm not even giving you the same topics.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, shit.
I am giving you one topic the same, and we're actually going to warm you up. Weiss, is the Euro Cup whack? Go.
It is whack. It is definitely whack. I would love if they had it after the European banners, because currently the European are not that strong. I don't know. It just feels. It doesn't feel good. Maybe because I don't play European and I don't like European players. Maybe that's why. But it is whack. I don't like it. I played like 4 matches. It's all with bots. That means that nobody is actually playing the tournament.
Okay. So, moving up next. Levin, as a unit in the game? Is he whack? Go.
He is not whack. Actually, Levin is kind of the heart of European players right now. He has the Dream Fest, which is still okay. He has the green old, what do you call it? Hidden, which was okay, which was good. And we have the absolutely great one right now, which is the green hidden one, the new one. He is absolutely. I think he's monstrous in the midfield. He's basically a buffed up Misaki who can catch any ball he wants and just gets it to the goal no matter what. So he is no whack. I love Levin. His cards are broad. He can shoot. He can grab balls. He can get you to the ball and auto intercept. He can do pretty much everything. He's not whack at all.
Okay.
He's hilarity. He's the heart of the European players right now.
All right, and then for the last one, the blue weird European Misaki. Is it whack? Go.
Super whack. Super whack. I do not like this guy. any character who needs to have a what do you call it, a buff whenever I do successive animations or skills are whack for me. I don't like them. I like to have a hidden that has full potential the whole game. Otherwise, it's not actually gonna do me anything. Otherwise, he also needs Europeans and Japanese players. Come on, man. Okay, I know he played in France, but still, that's just whack. That's super whack. We already have too many strong Misakis to give this guy even a chance. He's whack.
All right, well, thank you for participating in this segment that we like to call Is It Whack? And we have agreed that Green Europe is whack for now. The Euro Cup is whack depending on who you are and what you have. The Paris Dream Championship was whack, 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 whack. And the Levin is not whack, but this new Misaki is. Okay. Now that we have collected that completely useless information, let us move on to the Dream Collection. What do we think is coming in the Dream Collection? Does anybody know? Does anyone have any guesses? Because I don't, and frankly, unless it's going to be like, I don't know. I actually have no idea what could be next, and I have no idea what they could release for me to care. I'm going to guess it's European.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you release right now, right? So, like, there's plenty of Germans already in the game. I don't know that we need more Germans. I don't know that the answer is Germany up. Just German my shit up, you know? Like, I don't know if that's necessary. But I feel like we are going to see some more Germans at some point. But we already have a good World Youth Schneider, for example, Dreamfest. We have a good World Youth Cults collection. We don't have good World Youth Chester or Margus. But I feel like they would, I don't know.
We also don't have a World Youth Dolman.
Yeah, whatever. But you know what? Actually, a good guess that I'm having because of this weird blue Misaki are a Napoleon.
Napoleon, yep.
In green that can shoot and that has Japan plus Europe. And I want to say, I won't be Pierre. It could be Pierre, but it won't be Pierre. I think that there are more good versions of Pierre than there are good versions of Napoleon. And so they'll release like what's a blue European player that we don't have yet that would be nice?
Bosses.
No. It'll be somebody like a... I don't think it'll be a Pierre.
I don't think a Pierre. Pierre already has
Could it be Marcus?
forward blue one.
No,
I
not...
know that there's a lot of Germans. But...
Okay, blue one.
I don't think there'll be a Margus.
Kellis doesn't have a good blue one. He only has the 2018 Let's say 2017 one. No, 18. 2018 one.
Yeah, but
They
Cults
were the
have.
only blue one.
Yeah, I think that doesn't. It's not. They're not gonna release another Cult, but what they'll do is that they'll release a. You know what it is? They might release a Pierre and a Napoleon, and then give Margus and Chester hidden abilities. Actually, you know what? That's my final answer. I'm locking it in. They're gonna release the 2 Frenchies without hidden abilities, but they're gonna give hidden abilities to the old stuff.
I don't think that it's time to give old DCs hidden abilities. Because as far as we know, I don't think so. I don't think they will.
Oh,
Not
well,
yet, at least.
well, Diaz and Pascal called, and they want you to know that you're wrong, and that you've always been wrong, and that you will live your life being wrong. And
You'll
also,
see that. You'll see that.
and also Diaz also wants to let you know that he's gonna dribble your entire team and then shoot his Omega fuck cannon into your goal because you can't do anything about it because you were just talking trash about his passive that I designed.
Look.
You're fired forever. Firing out of a cannon into the sun. Can't believe you talk so much trash.
The only reason they put Pascal and Diaz hidden is because they say, oh yeah, we gave the Uruguayan banner for South American. And get him DC South American. So let's give those two hidden South American and give a shitty Brazilian banner. There we go. We're done with the Brazilian, with the South American. We're done with them.
Damn, cold-blooded. All right, so Quasar, how do you feel about the Dream Collection? What do you think is coming, Quasar? I know you always have like wild ass theories, so I want to hear.
I know. I was going to say Europe, but I believe that Alberto is going to be featured. I don't think he's been featured for a while, and it's time for him to show up again. He needs to be on my team, and I believe KLab supports my team. And as the official sponsor to my, well, not an unofficial sponsor to my stream, NBK, never blame KLab, will always be there for me when I need them. Oh my!
That's my answer to you.
I see. All right, so now that we don't know about the Dream Collection,
it just makes sense that it's going to be European.
Yeah, I agree with that. We can agree that probably Europe of some kind. All right. So next up, let's talk about real quick. You know what it is? It makes more sense to segue straight into July banner speculation because we're talking about the Dream Collection. We're talking about banners. So let's talk about the rest of the banners in July first, and then we'll go to the topic that we had in the way before that. So let's talk about what other July banners. So now that we have a banner about Sweden, what are the chances, and I'm going to float this one out there, that we get a banner about the Netherlands?
That would make some sense.
I would say most likely that July is all about Europeans. Thing is, Europeans are. We have Germany, we have Italy, we have the Netherlands, Sweden, and what else we have?
Germany, France
as well. So there are actually too many banners that are there. So I don't think 1 month is gonna be enough for them. So either they're gonna come all in one banner, like a huge European banner, or they're gonna be scarce within the next 2 months.
I think that if they're gonna do some of the Netherlands players, they might do something weird, like they'll release. Because the thing about the Netherlands, right, is that they worked best when they were playing together. But I think that's just like a contrivance that KLab came up with. I don't think they'd have to. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Leon Dick gets a better version, because Europe actually does need a little more defensive variety. So I expect to see Leon Dick running around. I expect to see what's his face? What's the name of the midfielder?
Dolman.
No.
Dolman's low.
No, the defender. What's the name of the defender?
Klausman. No.
Yeah, Kluisman. Yeah, they'll probably they'll probably have Root Kolsman, and then they'll probably have Dolman, and then some flavor of Brian, because they can't not release Brian. And then we'll probably see a couple of them be like 12% Europe, and then we'll see more super solidarities out of them. I wouldn't be surprised if the Brian has the 12% Europe, and then everybody else is a super solidarity because they're not as important, and so they tend to put Super Solidarity on characters where you don't feel obligated to run them. Only Japan has. You may notice that Japan, even though they get the bonkers characters, they always have hard decisions to make on characters. For example, if you're playing green and you want Solidarity, well, you can't run Stormy and you can't run Dreamfest Sawe, which kind of sucks, but also is worth it. So you can splash Stormy, ironically, very easily in other colors. So if you're playing like red right now, and you have Super Solidarity, you don't run Red Hyuga. You run Stormy. Because that character is insane, and it fits into the red archetype of get ball, shoot ball, right? And so I think that that's probably what's going to happen with Europe. Europe seems to be, and other colors in general, have the ease of use of, well, this character can have Solidarity because who gives a shit? No one's crying if Casagrande has freaking... oh yeah, I have Super Solidarity. Oh no, I can't run the other Casagrande. No one cares. There's no other green Casagrande. Who gives a crap, right? I think that that's pretty straightforward. So I don't know how, if you guys, if they're gonna make a Netherlands banner, I think it's gonna be like that. And that's just like my guess. Because it could very well be that they don't do like France Dream Collection, and instead they give like all of like the Netherlands like hidden abilities because they're insane, and instead we get a French banner. And K-Lab occasionally likes to like go to their backyard and take the biggest hit of weed that they have access to. Like they just burn every marijuana plant on existence and inhale the whole thing, and they're like, "Oh man, I think we're gonna give all the Dutch hidden abilities because that time when the Dutch were meta, yeah, we missed that, and the game was really toxic back then. So let's make it toxic again. God bless." You know, like I feel like they might do that because they are crazy. What would happen, actually? What do you guys think would happen if they just brought back all the Netherlands players as top tier?
First of all, I don't think that the Netherlands would have super solidarity because if you think about it, the Netherlands players were not actually that hype in the manga. Regardless, you know, you have Larsen, Brolin, and all the Swedish players were actually hyped, and they actually had some time in the manga to actually do something. However, in the Netherlands case, they were just, in the World Youth, they're not even featured in the whole thing. And in the Rising Sun, they weren't. Closeman and all the other players were not actually that much of a hype. It's only Brian Clivert, which was the very notable character with them. So I really don't think that they're gonna have the super solidarity. However, they can get 12 to 13%. All Europeans, that's for sure.
I actually think that they might get super solidarity specifically because they're not hype. Like the more forgettable that you are, the likelier you are to trip into super solidarity. I think that's how that works.
Yep. But they're not just not forgettable. They didn't even have any screen time at all. I mean, Larsen and the other Swedish guys, they did have some.
No, but that's perfect though. Imagine if they made super solidarity for some of the Asians, and they just gave it to like the Chinese captain that they don't even have an SSR version for right now. I don't even remember his name. That's how unimportant that character is. Look at how easy it would be to just run. Actually, you know what the thing is? For Asia, I wouldn't do Asian color super solidarity. I would just do Asian super solidarity. Right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, just as long as you're non-Japanese Asian and you run 8 non-Japanese Asians, you get super solidarity. I'm actually surprised that they didn't just do that. Like, they should have introduced super solidarity like that. They should have just been like, if you're non-Japanese Asian and you run 8 of them, you get super solidarity bonus. I would have been like, I was just like, can you imagine that team? Like, how good it would have been?
Oh, it would be so good.
Like, Asia would be in the meta. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like, they give some of the older ones, like, hidden abilities. Like, for example, they go to, like, the old Red Jiao, and they're like, yep, you're now super solidarity. Asians, non-Japanese Asians, and that's it. But I don't know. I think that there's, like, a cool stuff that they could do with the July banners, right? So, I am looking forward to it.
How many players? We were saying solidarity for Netherlands. How many Netherlands players do we have right now? I think we have 5, right?
They have the 5, yeah, but I don't think they would release all 5 in a banner. I think they would release the, like, kind of like how they originally did the Brazil banners, where they just randomly released the Casagrande and then just randomly released Alberto's. I think they'll just be like, well, Leon Dix seems to be the most memey of all of them in the game, and you know that K-Lab loves to, they just love to, like, yeah, they love to meme because there's no other reason why Urabe is a god other than because he's just straight memes. Because by the way, that Urabe, the 97 Urabe is wild. Like, I know that you guys are like, oh, whatever, he's only good 1/5 of the time. Is like, being good 1/5 of the time is good enough to scare people from matching up. And also, he's good in matchups, so who cares? But yeah, so like, K-Lab loves to meme. That's why there's so many decent versions of Urabe, including the God Urabe. That's why they've done other things that obviously show that they like to meme. And so I think that they'll do the memes, dude. Like, they'll meme. So Leon Dick, so that way you won't feel bad about opening a Dick's Tix. Yeah, a Dick Tix. Yeah, every time you open a Dick Tix, you'll feel better if the dick you get is actually, like, useful. Right? I mean, that's what I want. I want a useful Dick Tix.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do.
I love
Sounds
Dick
delicious.
Tix. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so now that we've gone into a completely weird segue, let's talk about the boy, the man, the myth, the legend. He was just released with an insane version that I think is probably one of the best units in the entire game. And it didn't click that he was one of the best units in the entire game until I actually sat down and looked at the math for more than like 10 minutes. It's our boy. You know him. You love him. His name is Stefan Levin. He's from Sweden. And he has a sick theme song. And so there are so many versions of Levin. We've got a Dreamfest Levin. We've got an old green Levin. We've got a blue postcut Levin. We've got a crappy...
Another blue Levin.
Yeah, we got a crappy tackle Levin that we don't talk about. We've got... Did we talk about Dreamfest Levin? We've got that one. And now we also have this green... We have a green volley Levin that we also don't talk about too much. But then we also have this wild third green Levin because he needed a third version, right? There's no regular red gacha versions, but there are green. There's 3 green ones. And the last green one is like this intense bonkers unit that is basically like the best midfielder in the game, but he's green and European, so it's like, what do we do with this guy? But what do you guys think of the different versions of Levin? Because I think that Levin's actually finally like one of those characters that actually has too many versions of him. He's starting to become kind of like Tsubasa in that you crack open a ticket and there could be like one of 8,000 Tsubasas in it. Well, that's what's happening a little bit to Levin, right? So like if I open 11, I could get, there's 2 green versions, 3 green versions. One I'm okay with, one I don't want, and one I love. I could get 2 blue versions. One of them is broken and the other one who exists. And that's it. Like, what's going on here?
They just love Levin nowadays. They just absolutely love it. Now for Levin, all his versions are kind of they were okay at some point. Suddenly it comes in the blue volley, the green volley Levin, and nobody even talks about that. And then it comes in the green Levin, which the blue Levin, which is actually it's pretty good. The auto cutter.
And for a while, he was also like the best one for Rainbow, right? Because he had the 13% Europe buff, yeah.
Exactly. But then we had, I think they gave a hidden ability to the green one, which was, it was debatable. It was just a shooter pretty much, nothing else, and a buffer.
But he did have the high ball. He did have the high ball passive, which in Green Europe is good for Margus. And
yes, exactly.
Also, because of that, he also had the Mueller killer, and Mueller at the time, maybe not the dominant goalkeeper, but he was one of them, so it did make him pretty tough to deal with. So
exactly. However, when you have Levin, you need because the Europeans don't have that many utility midfielders. The basic one, and those who love him, which is the Red Pierre, and he's very limited. So other than him, it's kind of hard to have a utility player for Europe. So here comes in the Green Levin, the new Green Levin, which is one of the greatest midfielders in the game so far.
Yeah, he's like a better Red Pierre.
He's insane. He's just insanely good in everything. And over that, he has a hidden ability as well. He's just super, to be honest.
He's just better Red Pierre, and Red Pierre is double S tier.
Exactly. And here's the thing is, if you don't get him and you get Larsen, Larsen's pretty much a smaller version of Levin with no hidden abilities, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, so, I don't think he's bad like at all. I don't know. I mean,
he's not bad.
I guess Quasar, because he doesn't have a whole lot of experience with European teams. He doesn't have a lot of opinions. Come on, man, you gotta have something for us. What do you think of Levin?
I really can't say much that you guys haven't said already. I mean, yeah, I really can't. As you said, I don't have much experience with Levin especially, and my European team, like I said, is a European mix 750k team that is absolutely unplayable.
All right, Quasar, baby,
Yes.
let's talk for a minute.
Yeah.
This is a podcast that's supposed to kind of be like bad sports radio, okay? So when we're talking about all of these things, I don't really care if you have a complete opinion. I just want your hot takes, my guy. Just give me your
He sucks.
hottest. I just
Yeah,
want
I'll
your.
give it to you.
I
He
want
sucks.
your
He sucks.
scorching.
You need to have a world youth team for him to be useful. I don't
No,
have
no,
a world
we're
youth
talking.
team.
You're
Who has
talking
a
about.
world youth
That's
Hold
a
on.
legendary
You're talking about 0.01. Calm down. Slow down. Your take was too scorching. You scorched the earth. No. All right. I just listen. When I ask you questions, just give me your scorching hot take. It doesn't have to be a good scorching hot take. It's just gotta be hot. It's gotta. When I bite into it, I've gotta burn my palate. I just need blistering hot takes out of you. All right. We're
Look,
ready?
If we're going to talk numbers, his shot can go up to 11,000 outside of the field and 13,000 power. That's scary crazy. But I don't know how easy it is to get a full World Youth European team to set him up with the full buff.
Are we still talking about the legendary Levin?
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the
We're talking about
latest, the
new
latest Levin.
one.
Yeah, the new one that just came out that intercepts everything and also has a long distance pass and also can reach
talking
like.
about the full power gauge, Levin.
No, dude, the hidden one, the new one.
The one I know one guy that gives Swedish players 5% stat.
That guy.
Yes, that guy. Yeah, that guy.
Okay,
guy, that basically-
he's pretty cool.
That guy self buffs by 20%. And has a long distance pass and also something like 13k base to 4 different stats once you limit break him.
I honestly did not take a look at him much at all.
My!
I'm not European. I'm not European.
Yes,
so
that
there's
is
really
correct.
no
You
point.
are from the Middle East. That is correct. Thank you. We didn't know that already. I am also from Mexico. It doesn't mean I didn't pay attention, damn you.
You make videos analyzing these players.
Hold on.
I make videos to make people laugh and screw around with them.
Okay, well,
No,
you're not wrong.
No, here's the thing is,
I have not.
here's the weird thing is, this Levin is a normal gacha player. That's just insane.
Oh yeah, you
I
can
mean,
get
like,
him
you
whenever.
Get him. Exactly.
It's-
That's just super great. That is super great.
Is he the best gacha player you can pick up right now in the regular gacha?
I'd say yes.
By like
I
a
would
lot,
say
right?
Yes.
You're not gonna say
him and then-
Roberto?
No.
He's
no,
actually
no,
better
I'd
than
say-
Roberto. So Roberto is a very good scorer, and he's a very good buffer, and he is a must splash for every Japanese team or South American team. But if I was, let me put it like this: if I were to pull this green Levin now, I would consider actually running my green Hyuga with Super Solidarity so that I could bench Santana and find room for this Levin to play as a starter because he offers too much utility.
With how much buff would you be?
He would have 45%.
45%. Okay.
Yes, and he self buffs by 20. And he gets all the green buffs on the field, which would be 1, 2. He only gets about 2 or 4% actual buff on the field for my players.
Okay.
For me, I would easily bench out Blue Misaki and put Levin in easily.
Yeah, so like if you're
Okay,
playing like
now-
a blue Super Solidarity and you haven't taken up all your Super Solidarity spots with buffs, I think Blue Misaki immediately sits down.
Yep.
So I would have to agree that this guy is pretty insane. I'm looking at his stats right now. Pass stats of 12,000, intercept 9,800, and technique 11,500. He is. I don't want to play against him with my
He's a
blue
beast.
European,
Yeah.
blue South American. Really.
Yeah, my
He
boy-
is a
my boy
complete
lives.
beast that I would ditch. I would play completely around, or not around, but away from this guy.
I mean, around is the correct way of saying it. You know, you don't want to play. You want to be near him. So I'm actually gonna do his buffs real quick and his hidden abilities, and I will read you his stats so that you can just go, why is this a thing? Okay. If you do the limit break like I do it, which is a utility limit break, and then you do his hidden ability and his activate his passive, he has 12.2k dribble, 14.4k pass, 12.2k tackle, and 12.5k intercept.
Okay.
And also his pass is a 440 cap, no distance decay pass, because they thought that would be fair. Also, he comes with an A Aurora Intercept, and if you don't know about Aurora Intercept, the A version hits 345. That's almost an EX skill level of strong. So yeah, this character is good. Like a lot good. Like very, very mucho buena.
Mucho buena.
Mucho increíble lo bueno. Mucho, wow. Yeah, so that character's bonkers. So yeah, I mean, listen. Levin has like 1, 2, 3. He has like 4 versions that are really good. I think Levin's probably the best European player. Schneider can take a seat. All Schneider does. I don't remember the last time a red Schneider scored against me that wasn't like some nonsense RNG. And in any version, like I'm playing the Europe Cup, and sometimes the red Schneider shoots from like a mile away, and my Mueller is like, "Oh, I'll catch this easily," and he gets blown away because RNG is the thing that exists. So I don't think that.
Who's your goalkeeper for the Europe Cup?
Blue Wild Mueller, insane weightlifting, mofo, eat small children Mueller. It's like ruined the meta for like a good like 6 months. Mueller, that guy, that guy is crazy. Anyways,
which kind of makes the European Cup a little boring. Almost every team I played against either has red Mueller or blue Mueller.
I've actually seen a lot of the Blue Dream Collection Geno because he's kind of toxic with the new Gentile, right? Like, so they'll run the new Gentile and then they'll run like a bunch of blue buffs, and then that Geno is just out there just catching all the balls, and I'm just like, how the hell is he doing this? Like, I didn't realize. Or they'll play the old one because none of your junior youth players can score, and there's a few junior youth European players. That's the only thing that people have access to. So you're just shooting at this guy, and he's like, "Lol, got that. Lol, caught that. Lol, caught that." And you're like, "God damn it!" Until you run like a green Schneider that almost no one runs, and then he just destroys him. And it's like, oh, okay. No,
right.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's it for our episode of the Dream Show. We like doing a segment at the end where we take questions from viewers and I ask them to our host. So if you guys have questions that you want to ask about anything that you want, really, as long as it's related to Captain Tsubasa, give us some questions. One of the things that we are interested in knowing is Weiss wants to see if he can get people to play against each other, and then by you asking us who you want to see or telling us who you want to see play against each other, maybe Weiss can make it happen. So let us know in the comments. We have a question already from Suckle. Suckle asks a very important question: how do I get good?
I can take that answer.
Yep, sure, we're all gonna answer. But
all right. For me personally, I say get out on the field, real life, and play a little bit of football/soccer and learn how to play the game, and that'll help you a lot in Captain Tsubasa.
My answer is go steal your mom's wallet and buy like 50,000 dream balls, and then your mom will get really mad and charge back, but then you have 50,000 dream balls. Congratulations, you're the best player in the game. Weiss. By the way, don't steal.
I would say just be online. Just don't steal. Just be online. Play online. Play against a lot of players, because everyone has their own strategy, and that will give you a lot more experience. You can easily win against high-ranked players just because you know how to actually play the game.
Nah, just spend a lot of money. No, but that's a good answer. Okay, so who else we have? Fro asks, who is equivalent to Red Pierre and the new Levin and Blue Agility? That player does not exist. If you play Blue Europe, just cry a lot. That player doesn't exist yet. Yeah, just cry a lot. Ahmed Alomar, aka Kurapika, asks, Stormy or 97 Hyuga, and why?
Yup, all the way. If anyone understood that.
Yeah, you picked 97 Hyuga. I would say 97 Hyuga, because I love the body stand on these scorers more than, because let's face it, Stormy is just, oh yeah, here you go, I'm gonna shoot and it's gonna go to the goal, but you probably can catch it. but the 97 Hyuga is body stand 30%, 20%. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot. You're probably not gonna catch it.
I'm gonna disagree. I think that Stormy is by far the better player. I think that mathematically over a long period of time, as you average it out, Stormy is more effective of a player. I think Stormy in the box, on the ground, literally anywhere, he is the better one. Mota seems to think that 97 is the best striker in the game right now. I also think that Mota occasionally has no idea what he's talking about, and so I am going to say that that Stormy is definitely the better one of the two. I don't think 97 is bad. I think 97 can receive a lot of buffs, especially because of Takeshi. And I think that maybe in a green Super Solidarity, you don't have a choice. But I think that every other color splashes Stormy. They don't care about 97 Hyuga, right? Like they don't want to run 97 Hyuga because he gets to shoot once, and then you grab 97 Hyuga, you put him on the bench, you pat him on the head, and you call him a good boy. Meanwhile, Stormy runs into literally any defender, and he's like, "Hey, baby. What do you think of S99 Stormy Resurrection that you can't block?" Tuzani Yasin asks, who is the best red Hyuga in the game? It's Stormy Resurrection.
Dude, just answer the question.
That is the answer. That's the answer. Stormy Resurrection. What do you want from me?
Red Hyuga, dude.
Yes.
Hyuga.
Yes. Do you know? Have you ever heard of our Lord and Savior's Super Solidarity? The best red Hyuga is Stormy. My official answer is Stormy, and I'm not pivoting from this. Why do people not appreciate the new Dreamfest Diaz?
I don't know why. I love him. He's super strong.
He's excellent. I think he's great. I think he's fun. I think he's a cool character. I think he's got a cool ass shot. I think Acrobatic Banana is a very cool looking shot. But by the way, if you have a dupe Dreamfest Diaz and you put that shot on our Lord and Savior Dream Collection Diaz, I don't need to tell you how much better that character is. I don't know if you guys know that Dream Collection Diaz is the strongest ground shooter in the game at max buff. Now he's, I think, the only player that by himself, without anything other than his own power, breaks 100k shooting.
Yes, I agree.
He's the only player that can do that. By his own power, break 100k shooting. Which means that Diaz is low-key like the dumbest character in the game, and we don't know it yet. We should have talked about Diaz instead of Levin. Fuck Levin. That's my one F-bomb for the podcast, so that we don't become anything other than PG-13. I'm sorry. What else do we have?
I'm still honestly getting to know Diaz. He's new to my team.
He's fun.
He doesn't really have much skills for me to use just yet. Everything is very low. But I'm very hopeful.
Yep.
I have a feeling he's going to be doing miracles in the future.
Do you have the A80 Swift interception? Because that's almost critical.
Of course. That's a must. And I have Pascal sitting right next to him.
All right. So, another question.
But
After
I did not limit break his intercept. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. After seeing him in action, did you find the new Tsubasa Fest really OP? Yes. Character's crazy.
Scary crazy.
He's wild. I saw him get into volley situations before, and with like a low level volley, he was just crushing goalkeepers. Green has no answer for him at all, because Green can only run Genzo. Genzo is not good at low balls, and Genzo is not good at high balls either. But he's not good at air or any air ball, and also he doesn't do anything against anything, so it's just blah. So I think it's that. What's a good low stat alternative for Dream Championship? I think he's talking about Hyugas.
Hyugas? I think in general.
No, I think he's talking about Hyugas because he's following up a Hyuga question. What would
How
be?
do you guys feel about Profound Fangs, Hyuga?
I think he's fun. I think that, especially because a lot more players are gonna start having ways of getting around debuffs. I think that if you're gonna run the red debuff Japan, you have to run Refound, Nambasa, Urabe, and maybe consider running the Heart Attack Misugi. But
and
I think
Sano.
Yeah, and Sano, yeah, because that way you can crush
Blue team.
You can crush blue teams. But you can also, instead of doing that, you can just run the good Super Solidarity Misugi and then run the Sano on the side as like another debuff. So yeah. Oh, here you go. He's a good low stat alternative for Dream Championships in general. He wants to know Chess Jitos and 17 Matsuyamas. My answer is that you need to find the old RDUR players that have like pitifully low stats, and you play them somewhere on your team where they don't get debuffs, because that's actually the secret. That's the secret sauce. That's how you fit players. They don't have to do anything. They just have to occupy a spot. You just have to be good enough player to cover for the fact that you have a spot on the field that is literally covered by a child, surrounded by large burly men, and then you'll be fine. If you can do that, you can win in the Dream Championship. You just have to be really good at alternating defensive and attacking stance, and also knowing where and what your players do and how they cover each other. A couple more questions before we wrap this up. Are we ever going to use our S99 skills again instead of S30s and S10s? I hope not. What do you guys think?
I think it will come up after they have all these we had the European, we had the Japanese, South American, now we have Europeans, then probably Asians, and then probably it's gonna be then it's gonna go back to normal Tsubasa Cup, and then they're gonna probably alternate between these cups.
Right.
I don't think there's gonna be an Asian one, because when you say Asian, are the Japanese going to be included, or is it going to be non-Japanese?
I think they will. I think they will, but they might give something like if you're non-Japanese Asian, you get like a small buff.
I guess.
Do you think the free event units with only C skills are useful? Not very, but there's cases. That's the entirety of my answer. I have nothing else. Like, and I don't want to elaborate on it because it's really obvious what the cases are. I think Tsubasa and Sano are the really obvious ones, and everything else is just like, oh, cool. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that.
No, nothing from my side.
No. Someone's asking about Jato-kun. Jato-kun is streaming on Twitch these days.
Yeah, Jato-kun's fine. Shout out to Jato-kun, nice guy.
Yeah. If you'd like to catch him, just go for his Twitch, type Jato-kun, and you'll find him.
Okay, so here's the last question I'll take, because it's a question with an obvious answer, and we need to close it up. I just got Stormy. What do you think of limit breaking him with pass instead of dribble? I'm thinking of giving him the C12. It's really obvious why you don't do this. You need him to be fast. He needs to get as close as possible to the goal as fast as possible, and so the only other obvious thing you can give him is dribble. Actually, there is one other thing you can give him instead of dribble if you give him 25 speed, and that's 22-3 intercept. And the only reason you do that is so that you can white intercept more often. It still won't be enough, but defenders sometimes are so bad at passing that it might be the difference between you catching a ball and getting into a really good spot out of a mistake, and you just looking at a ball sail over your head. That's literally the only other way I would limit break him, would be intercept 22-3 as opposed to dribble 25-25. And the only reason why you do dribble 25-25 is because it means that his dribble hits something even remotely okay. And so you can occasionally crush blocks with it. Especially because you have block killers, so if people guess block and you dribble, you break through it. And most people, when they face against Hyuga, are going to guess block. Because they know that you're a block killer, so all they really want to do is, they just want to get the free full power, right? So that's the only reason you would dribble, is because you want free full power. And that is like my entire answer. I don't know if anyone else has another opinion on what you would do about Stormy. None of you, by the way, told us if you want to see two different players play each other. Like, way to go.
Oh, yeah.
This is why we can't this is why we can't do audience segments, because the audience doesn't know what we're talking about. Audience, who you want to see play each other? Two people want to play each other, go. Two players that you want to see beat each other up.
Pick any famous players, whoever you want.
Yeah,
anyone. It could be Mota, it could be Bay, it could be 30-minute Miracle.
While that happens, we're gonna answer the Stormy question. Go, Weiss.
The same Stormy question.
Yeah. The Stormy question.
Just go with speed, dude. You think you need to get as close as possible and just shoot. That's the only way. That's all the thing that he does. Stormy, give him the ball and just shoot, pretty much. So nothing else matters, pretty much.
How about you, Quasar? What do you think?
I would go the same thing. I would go speed. I would do shot, power, of course, and speed, and then the last one, whatever you want.
All right.
So
Doesn't matter.
25, 25, 25. The last one just doesn't matter.
We're getting a lot of nothingxs versus Weiss. I mean,
Dude, why?
why are you like this? Like we can literally watch that anytime I randomly join a Weiss stream and I go, hey,
Exactly.
you wanna play? Like, just stop. This is not like a dream matchup. That is not a dream matchup. That is like two dudes just playing. Like, could you please, Bay versus oh my god.
Honestly, I think we should have a friendly match between the champion of Dubai and the champion of France.
No, because you just want to hope that the champion of Dubai wrecks the champion of France so that you could just go on the internet and be like, yeah, Dubai's the best, yeah! And just pop off.
Not at all. Not at all. Like, no offense to the winner, but I gave him the match. I gave him the semifinal.
No offense to the winner, but he whacked. His shoes, whack. His team, whack. His game,
No,
whack.
his team was great. His team was
skills,
great.
whack. Me, I'm nice as beep.
I could have won that semifinal match had I not made that stupid mistake in the second.
Oh my god.
I made a couple mistakes, but the score was still 1-0 after the first mistake with Misaki against Dreamfest Ishizaki. But yeah.
Why are all these like answers like they're things that have happened.
Exactly.
Aaron
This
versus
is what
ATV happened. Silfarian versus 30 Minute Miracle happens regularly.
happened a lot.
Jade
A lot.
Taggers versus nothingxs. I mean, why? I mean, that's the only one that's like, oh, I guess that hasn't happened yet. Bay versus Mota. You have played Bay a billion times. Also, Mota suggested himself. All right, that's the end of the podcast. Our episode is over. We're not doing a dream matchup. It's not happening.
Thanks, Mota.
Thanks, Mota. You killed the stream. The stream is dead. The dream is dead. The podcast is over. Thank you all, everybody, for coming out to the second episode of The Dream Show. We appreciate you guys coming out here and spending your time with us. Hopefully, you guys will be you'll listen to us on your next drive, your commute, maybe during the week. We make these episodes long and hopefully only weekly so that you guys can digest them little by little over time, or you can just sit them while you're showering or something in your spa. I have no idea. Whatever it is that you do with these episodes, hopefully it's nothing gross and nasty. Hopefully you don't hear the earlier part where I was like, and think that was sexy, because that would be very problematic. Thank you all for coming out here. Thank you, Weiss. Any last comments from you, Weiss, this week?
Thank you, guys. It was a very informative podcast. Hope you guys had fun with it. And if you guys have any suggestions, let us know.
And also, thank you very much for Quasar joining us this week. Hopefully for every week after this. He was supposed to be part of the core squad, and then, I don't know, he went to go play golf or something the first time. I don't remember.
I went to a wedding.
Yeah. So golf. Anyways, Quasar, you have any last words for us from you? Tell us.
俺はもう負けるはたくさんだ!
Makiru no wa yada.
Oh my god.
I can't remember it exactly. I just remember the
Anyways, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I know the other one better.
Right.
Anyways, thank you very much, guys. Fro insists that you and I play each other. One day.
We will. Yeah, we will.
When we're not busy and we actually care. Anyways, guys, thank you all for coming out. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We'll see you guys the next podcast. Hopefully, Caleb will have released something that is fun to watch by then, or fun to look at talk about. Yeah, because, I mean, Levin's good, but everything else was like Paris Dream Championship. Man, whatever. I don't even want to watch it. You guys have made it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming out here. Oh, sorry. What?
No worries. I was gonna say that Hong Kong is gonna be pretty good. I think it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to Hong Kong. Hopefully, it's much better. Anyways, guys, peace out.